GoPro start recording?
All right, today we have this car, which might look a little bit familiar to some people from our track video that we had from what, just a couple weeks ago now?
Yep.
And it's been through lots of changes, and not really facelifts, but definitely some internal changes, we'll say,
yeah,
over the last few years.
I built this one like probably 5 years ago, maybe longer, I don't even know now, but originally it was on air ride. That's the original thing I did to it. Then we did a big turbo setup, and then once he started getting a little bit more power, he ditched the bags and started, you know, coming to the track with us. So it's definitely been through some changes. It's been on the dyno before. I think the highest we made, this was at my buddy's shop before I had my dyno, was like around 380. He only runs it at the track at around 300 horsepower range, but it is very fast out there. So, you know, once he gets, although these aren't the tires that he runs on the track, if he goes a little bit wider tire, he'll be able to, you know, definitely lean on the power a bit more. But the reason it's here now is because I had to do some upgrades to the exhaust. There was a reduction in part of the exhaust that we cut out. And since the last time it was on the dyno, I did integrated engineering intake manifolds, direct port water meth injection kit. So it actually is running 5 nozzles now, 1 in each cylinder in the runners of the intake manifold, and then 1 in the charge piping before the throttle body.
And before this, it did have water meth injection. It was
just a single nozzle, but you can really take advantage of the water meth when you're running direct port. It is expensive to do a proper setup for the direct port stuff, but hopefully we'll see some benefits of it.
Did you talk about fuel pump? Because you have a fuel pump module on that.
Yeah, it'll be hard to remember all the list of parts that are on this thing, and maybe we'll have it in the comment or the description below, and maybe Clayton can add it in here once I get the full list and remember everything that's on it. But it has the Torqbyte PM3, I believe, module, upgraded pump, obviously upgraded high pressure fuel pump, upgraded injectors. They're just like S3 injectors, I believe.
It's way about to get to some of the handling stuff.
Well, actually, before we get to that,
okay.
It has upgraded rods, still stock pistons. It has a fluid damper on it also.
Valve train's all stock.
Valve train's all stock, yeah. And then suspension. It has a set of SD coilovers, which, you know, he pushes those pretty hard for quite a few years now, so it's surprising that they've taken that abuse. We did just upgraded pads.
Yeah, Hawk HP Pluses, I think.
HP Pluses, yeah. And APR front and rear sway bars, which are very beefy.
Yeah. Then you put the seats in, Corbeau seats, harnesses.
Seats, a set of Corbeaus, and I did a roll bar. I built a roll bar for it. It's nice and tight fitting all around the roof. Like probably will post a B-roll of that. It has the KDN shifter, which a bunch of our cars run, and as I mentioned in one of the previous videos, it's definitely a driver mod, those shifters. So you'll probably see some footage as I shift through the gears once we get the car up on the dyno and ready to go. So we're pretty much to that point now. I'm sure there's a zillion things I forgot about this car, but again, we'll try to add it over the video or in the description below. And you ready to try to make some jam with this thing?
I'm more than ready.
More than ready? I know the owner's definitely ready, so let's get to it. All right, I think we're ready to do the first run on this one. Cruise controller's off, so just spring pressure. Ready. All right, let's go. 3 on the gate. And the gate was, I have no idea, 15.6. So, let's make that 2 a 3.
Oh my god.
All right?
Yeah,
let's make that 2 a 3.
Yeah.
Okay, next boost setting. Little more boost again. It's gonna be a 3 this time.
Promise?
On the dyno, there's no promises. All right, let's see what the old girl has. Made more that time.
Yeah, almost 100 horsepower more?
Yeah, almost 100 horsepower more, so.
You definitely wanted to see that 3, right?
Yeah, and it made the 3, so now let's make it a 4.
Alright.
Alright, just gonna look at the logs.
That's clean looking.
Yeah, it's a little lazy down low, but I don't think it fucking pulled any timing at all.
Crank it up.
It's gonna. Alright, see what we got here. On that one, there's room in this old girl yet. As long as we don't run out of fuel, timing at it, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah,
Really good.
yeah.
So
we're just gonna keep making more. That's what we gotta do.
yeah, what are we doing? We're back, so
yeah, we're back on this one
again.
So the last run, which was the other day, Friday, it's now Monday. The last pull of the night we did 404, but there's looking like there's some potential in this thing, so I turned the boost back down, and I've just been chucking some timing at it and cleaning up the fueling. So we're at 382 now, so we're going to try to get as close to 400 as we can on the boost setting that he has, and then we'll probably turn it back up. See what it'll do.
Fans.
Fans. What? You're gonna clickety click on that. Make run, make run. So I just did a little more cleanup. As long as this one is very similar to the last run and the log looks good, then we're going to turn the boost back up. So it's almost time. Just trying to get a bit of heat back into it. Alright, let's do it. More. Alright, we added some more duty to it. And I hope for a few more pounds of boost. Let's hopefully pour something this time. Again. Let's go. Okay, so we ran into a problem last night, and I'm just going to show you that now before we start back on it. So this fitting used to be a plastic fitting like this, and I noticed all of a sudden it was pulling a lot of timing, which indicated that it was likely water meth related. So Clayton took a look out here while I was in the car. He felt a little leak. We tried to push it back in, and the next run it just blew right off. So I've taken this fitting out, replaced it with a stainless one. Okay, I got the file on it from before we started doing some troubleshooting, but now that we found the problem, I'm back on the file that I was working on. We're gonna just do one run to make sure all is good at that level again, sanity check basically, and I'm gonna turn the boost up after that. A bit of timing pull, but it did the most it's done on this map. It did 405 330. So I'm just gonna dig through the log and see what we can come out with here. We turn the boost up a little bit. All eyes on deck for this one. Boost cut set at 33, something like that. To go higher in boost actually. So that one was 439, 354. So I'm just going to look at the logs. We may turn it up a little bit more yet. Alright, so all look good on that one. We're going to turn it up a little bit more. And see if we can't get a little bit more out of this thing. We've already exceeded the owner's expectations, so this is bonus horsepower. be. It made 469, 382 torque at 29 pounds for all those watching. So that's going to be the end of this one. I don't think I'm going to turn it up anymore from here. We're about 50 horsepower over what the guy wanted, so I'm sure he'll be ecstatic.
So you text me earlier with a little picture, a little surprise for me. Well, not for me really, but a surprise that I didn't see yesterday, and you made a little bit more power with this thing. Yep. So obviously in the video you guys would see Clayton wasn't here for the last couple runs I did. Was able to turn it up a little bit more and made 469. And this is on 91 with water meth. So the big thing that's helping this car is the direct port water meth injection. Clayton probably has some B-roll, you can film it lay in there. But stock fueling on this car on an FSI is not going to make that kind of power. He does have upgraded high pressure fuel pump, upgraded low pressure fuel pump module, but really for this power level, the water meth is really what's
making it happen. And it could probably make 500 actually. So I'm just leaving it like this for now. We've exceeded the guy's expectations.
I'm sure Zach wouldn't mind if we pushed
500. Yeah. We're gonna leave it like this for now and let him get. You know, he doesn't even drive it at this horsepower, so this is more bragging rights. Pump gas with water meth to make this kind of power, and pump gas being our 91 pump gas.
Yeah.
So it's
again, 91 octane,
yeah.
Not 93.
Not ethanol. That says 91 octane. So yeah, he was hoping to see originally just over 400, and the first like 3 runs in, I made over 400. So. In the end, we end up making 405 at the boost level, that actually less boost than what he was making the 370 to 380 range. So made some good gains there. So yeah. Less boost, more horsepower.
Yeah. All
because of timing and fueling. And I don't know, you can probably film that or lay it in over top, but the next thing really this guy needs to do is all-wheel drive it. So
step it up, Zach.
Yeah, he's talked about it. So Zach, all-wheel drive your car.
He's talked about it for what, a couple of years now. So I think it's time.
This power level definitely, he would see a major difference in this car, especially at the track. Because again, as we talked about already, this car sees a lot of track time. So at this kind of power level, it's not going to be happy. He'd never be able to run it out there with this kind of power level, especially without having boost per gear. But if we did all-wheel drive in it, there'd be a lot more potential.
Yeah, I think I'd have a really hard time chasing this one in the Rabbit.
Yeah, I mean, it's already fast.
Yes.
And he runs it at like, he told me today, he runs it at like the 270 wheel.
I can't believe that, yeah.
Or 200 wheel horsepower more than what he runs it at. Am I crazy, Ben? Ben?
Is that crazy, Ben?
That is crazy.
Whoa,
Too many words.
Only one word.
Too many words.
Try it again. Try again. Is that crazy, Ben?
Yes.
Yes. So anything we forgot about this car?
I'd say probably, but
there's been a lot done to it over the years. I think we touched on most of it at the beginning of the video, but I mean, we corner balance this car. It has decent suspension. It's primarily a street car that does get driven a lot at the track, so this isn't a full-blown race car.
It drives to and from the track. It's not a trailered car. It's driven there, driven hard, driven home.
Yeah. So
and really, there's a track day coming up in a few days, so there might be some more footage of this.
More footage of it. I didn't touch on the kit. This would have been based off of a CTS turbo kit originally. I did put a different turbo setup on. This was Robbie's old turbo, if you remember.
That's right.
We bought that at World Cup.
I'll link to Robbie's project here.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for this one. Unless there's anything else, Clayton.
No, we can take a quick look at this graph.
Yeah.
I will overlay it, but I don't know if you want to talk about anything
well,
with this.
There's the power we gained, almost 100 wheel horsepower from what it was.
Yeah.
And
I feel like the graph's super smooth, like even when it started, like obviously it's leaning on the water meth there and it's nice smooth graph.
Yeah, without the water meth, this would never make this kind of power. So it was good to kind of push it on that setup. And again, I honestly think there's a little bit more in it, but we got to draw the line at some point. And
the line should be a couple more pounds of boost to make 500
Well,
horsepower.
the line was 425, so I have already exceeded that. So yeah, that's probably it for this one, unless there's anything else, Clayton. Well, I'll say one thing.
Oh.
We were really hoping for 3,000 subscribers by the end of this month, so be sure to subscribe.
Yes, please do.
If you have any questions or comments, ask them below, and we'll see you in the next video.
Are you the princess?
Why?
The magnet on the back says
yeah,
princess on her.
I've seen that.
I like how you have a computer in front of you and you're on your phone.
Yeah, I don't know why.
GoPro, stop recording.